So nice to meet you, everyone. I'm Kyung Lee from Group G, and we're going to talk about what we've done, what we learned, and what we experienced on day 2, which was the ITU and the CERN. So more about the programs in day 2. We first went inside the ITU, and then we listened to a lecture. Also had a chance to eat in the cafeteria. Then went to CERN after the ITU program. Went to CERN, also had a lecture, see some people who are actually working there. And also really had a great chance of seeing the facilities, such as like the monitoring room or the actual accelerator. So before starting for the ITU thing, I want to talk about what the history of communications were. So at the old times we used like physical mails, just like actually writing. Then in 1836, we used the Morse code, using only plus and minus for sending text. And also in 1849, the first telephone was made. And in the 1960s, the internet was made because the reason that the US military wanted a way that wanted a communication that still works in the nuclear wars. So, and now we have everybody using the internet, sometimes using the video. And future, we don't know. But because of the change of the telecommunication system, the people needed a way that not only in the country, but something international, and they made the ITU. So the ITU is the International Telecommunication Union, which does several things. Such as, before going into the ITU, I want to talk about the history that in 1865, and similar to the internet, they needed a way, international standardization or management about the radio frequency. So it was made, and then after that, 1981, the UN was formed, and then, so the ITU was made first, than the UN, and it was included in 1947. And there are 3 departments, which each has agendas that manages radio spectrum and satellite orbits, and coordinate standardization and help develop some countries they don't have good telecommunication system. So my next presentation will talk about more specific things about.
Now I'm going to tell you about the importance of the ITU and how this organization works. First, the ITU is divided into 3 departments, ITU R, T, and D. Which is RTU? Each of them cares about management, standardization, and development. First, the management is to care about avoiding crosstalk, which means to stop the crosstalk, to make the increased efficiency. For example, there's a road where a bus goes, and the taxi goes, and the bicycle goes. There's no problem will happen not at all if they go on their way, but if bus goes to the taxi road and taxi goes to the bus road, there might be an accident, which means the crosstalk in the ITU, telecommunication. The next department is about standardization, and this department cares about creating local standards to make the the organization work better. For example, giving the national codes of the telephone number, such as +82 for Korea. And this was the original purpose to organize this organization called ITU. The final department is about the development, and about this one. All over the world, there are 53% of countries can resist the internet, which means they can't use the internet services or the developing. So they try to promote and regulate the rules for people to use more internet accessible all over the country. Next, I'm going to tell you how the ITU works. The main officers are Secretary General, Deputy Secretary General, and finally the directors of each department, which are ITU T, R, and D. And they are the ones who do the conference, and from 4 to 5 years every time. But they're not the only one. They do regulate the rules in one way. They try to be interactive each other. Like when they made constitution, they include sovereign rights, such as giving the rights, understanding the situation in some countries, such as China, such as they limit the use of SNS, so they understand the country like that. So they try to be interactive. And next, Sungmin will talk about the CERN.
I'm going to talk about CERN, which is a particle physics laboratory. And CERN stands for European Organization for Nuclear Research. CERN is located in Mayren, Switzerland, and the institute is a lab with the largest size of LHC, the particle accelerator. And let me talk about the history of CERN. In 1952, October 1st, CERN is established. And then in 1954, March 17th, they made tunnels to make their particle accelerators. Finally, in 1957, May 11th, they started to run their first accelerator. Let me talk about the two discoveries in CERN. It's World Wide Web and its boson. In 1989, the physicist Tim Lee and his colleagues at CERN, who worked in CERN, developed protocols and programs to share their various research materials. It finally became the World Wide Web. Through the development of the World Wide Web, the world has been able to be connected to one another and share information easily, which like a spider web, and which results in globalization. The second is Higgs boson. Higgs boson is a particle that can provide mass to each of other bosons attributed to the Higgs mechanism, but it has been considered as just a theoretical tool to prove the Higgs mechanism. And the surprising thing is CERN has finally discovered it. But they first reversed their announcement because it was uncertain that it was actually Higgs boson. And 2 years later, they finally announced that it was. And Esther will talk about it.
So CERN has an institutional participation and a non-institutional participation. So in the institutional participation, there's the membership, the associate membership, and observer status. And in the non-institutional participation, you have the International Cooperation Agreement and the Memoranda of Understanding. CERN also participates in collaborations with Germany, France, England, China, and the States. So for the next activity, I'll need one participant from this line, like a volunteer. Okay. So later, when you receive 2 markers, I would like you to say or shout out the word bang. Okay. And I will need the participation of everybody in this table. So let's say this is the particle accelerator. So the accelerator is also called LHC, which is made of a series of accelerators. So we, as an accelerator, will push the particles to nearly the speed of light. So the process starts with a simple ball of hydrogen gas. and the protons are collected from it, then put through 4 accelerators. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then these protons are going to be transformed in the forms of beams, and they are accelerated through 2 pipes of the LHC. So one will be circulating clockwise, and the other will circulate the opposite way. So you just need to pass the markers. So the 2 beams are brought into collision, and inside 4 detectors: the ALICE, ATLAS, CMS, and LHCb. By studying these collisions, we can find out how matters are made and how other things started, like the Big Bang. So if they can't go down, how do they manage these machines? Well, operators use control rooms due to harmful substances underground while the machine is operating. There is the control rooms for individual parts of the LHC, for example, the Atlas's control room. There is also the CERN Control Center, which combines the control rooms of the LHC's accelerators and other technical infrastructures. To make sure the parts of other machines work properly, CERN provides test facilities such as the cryogenic test facility. CERN also takes security measures such as the 3-stage cooling system or a fire alarm projecting foam into the tunnels when it goes off so that firemen aren't needed. So, do they have any plans for the future? Well, from 2018 to 2021, CERN is planning to open up LHC to visitors again. It is entirely safe because LHC will not be operating during the visits during these 2 years, and we call this the long-term shutdown. These long-term breaks is a time when scientists, engineers, CERN benefit to improve the installations and solve any problems. So our day 2 training was a great chance for us to see the 2 organizations in person, and interacting with the speakers and the guides helped us to dig deeper into ITU and CERN in the fields of physics and technology. Thank you.
Questions? No. Okay.
What was the best thing going to CERN and learning about ITU?
So for the ITU, I think it was a great chance to learn from the people who actually works there, so that we can ask real questions about things and hear about what the ITU thinks about some issues or some information. I think that was a good point going forward.
And even though we couldn't go down underground because we were a bit early in the project, I think it was great that we could at least go into the test facilities across the border and see the actual parts, different kinds of parts. And also, I think the video that they showed us really helped us to understand how CERN worked.
Next one.
Group C.
Okay, so thank you very much.